Hey everyone, welcome to the Canine Culture Podcast, where we talk about everything dog. Q&As with veterinarian professionals, rescue operators, everyday topics. We cover everything dog on this podcast. So make sure you subscribe to the Canine Culture Podcast on your favorite podcast platform, and make sure you're following us on social media on both Instagram and Facebook. Thanks again for listening. Now here's that next episode. Hey everyone, welcome to the Canine Culture Podcast. This is your host, Brittany, and we are joined by the founders of Boobs and Barks, Kieran and Katie. So thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So tell us all about Boobs and Barks. So tell us, how did you get started? What do you guys do? Tell us all about it.
So the origin of our brand is Katie and I have been together for a little over 6 years, and we wanted to start a business together for a while. We just didn't know what we wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then one morning, Katie woke up and she rolled over and she said, I know what we're going to do. We're going to start a brand that combines the two things America loves most, dogs and boobs.
I did, and then I jokingly said we can call it Boobs and Barks, and the name kind of just stuck. Started doing research on matching clothes, and we realized that there was a lot of matching gear out there for like t-shirts and pajamas for dogs, but not practical outdoor clothing. So we were like, wow, we could be the first to do this and give back to some really great causes in the making. And we had wanted to start a business for some time because I'd gotten into entrepreneurship through personal training and coaching, and we kind of wanted to take it to a bigger scale and make some more impact.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, building off that, there are so many products that you see out there to express the love and connection for your dog. You know, you got bumper stickers, you got tire covers, you got t-shirts, but nothing really practical as a wearable standpoint, you know, and so many dog lovers are active.
Right.
You know, they go on mile-long walks, they go on beach walks, hikes, you know, you name it. And there's nothing that you can match your dog and actually be practical. And so we wanted to be the first ever to do that and kind of pioneer that.
Yeah, and have it be fun and sexy and vibrant, and, you know, speak to people that like to go outside. We don't want to take ourselves too seriously. That's why we named the company Boobs and Barks. We weren't even sure if we were allowed to do that legally. We're like, you put boobs on a LLC form, but you can do it. And it's garnered us a lot of really great attention. People love it. So,
yeah, I think it's fun. I think you see other brands, like you said, take themselves too seriously, or it's like very cheesy t-shirts that just like you wouldn't really wear. You might sleep in it, but you wouldn't really wear it anywhere. You definitely wouldn't wear it at the gym. You know, you would be like, yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. And moreover, we've always had bigger dogs. It might be different for folks that have smaller dogs, but whenever I know my mom or my dad got a garment for the dog that was like a hoodie, you know, the dog's biting at it.
Yeah.
They're trying to.
Dogs don't like
the big dogs don't like
it. Did something that was like bandanas, collars, leashes. You can take it out. They don't feel comfortable. Yeah. And you can actually match, and people notice.
Right.
Yeah. So I know you guys have 3 kind of like big commitments. And so let's go through your commitments. So the first one is giving back to dog rescues. So tell us about that.
Well, that's super important to us. So we are both dog people. We grew up with dogs. We love dogs. We're obsessed with them. So we wanted to get back to rescues because we rescued our dog. And yeah, we just feel that dogs make your lives better.
Yeah. And it's, as you know, more than most, you know, dog rescues are vital. And there are millions of dogs in this country that need to be
I
saved.
think it's some 3 million dogs a year end up in shelters, and about 1/3 of a million are euthanized. So we want to save dogs' lives and, you know, help promote their health and getting them into homes, and specifically giving back to non-kill shelters.
Yeah, absolutely. Non-kill shelters. And our dog Skipper, who is our child, our son came from a shelter that would have euthanized him, and somebody saved him through a second chance program. And so we're very, very passionate about that, about saving dogs and bringing awareness to that cause, more so than what already exists. And, you know, it's, as Katie said, you know, dogs are our passion. So if we can make a dent in this issue, you know, that would be the world to us.
Yeah.
And we donate to different causes on a monthly basis. I mean, eventually there will probably be some repeats. So far, we like to spread the love. So we've donated to both local dog rescues here in the Jacksonville area and some more national causes. I think at some point we'll do the ASPCA where we rescued our dog from.
Right.
But we want to spread the love. We want to be able to donate to a myriad of different places and really make a dent.
Yeah. And those donations, I don't know if people know this, but when you are donating and getting more dogs moved, you're more likely to convert a kill shelter to a no-kill shelter, because oftentimes shelters become kill shelters because they don't have the funding. They don't have the resources. They don't have the money. And so they have to make space for other dogs, especially if the dog is sitting there and deteriorating and not being adopted. So you're actually making headway in more ways than you think. So that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Wow, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So you guys could change the trajectory of a shelter who, they want to be no kill, but they just can't because they're not moving the dogs out. So even you guys helping rescues, that means rescues can pull from the shelters, free up space. And so there's that trickle down effect.
Absolutely.
And you guys said you switch your rescues like every month, like you pick a new one every month?
Yeah, and we have an option on our website to submit a donation, which basically means obviously anybody could go to a dog rescue and donate.
Right.
But for us, it's like we're spreading the love, and you can join us and contribute, and we'll donate it to whomever that we're donating to that month. If that's something that someone feels passionate about doing. So we have had someone submit a donation through our website. So
pretty good one.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're buying your clothes, you just click add donation. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to go to the website. You just tap onto your purchase order and boom, you made a difference.
Yeah.
Top of what we're already doing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And our vision too is to continue to build this. And we want Boobs and Barks to be huge. And, one day we want to be participating in dog walks, dog fundraisers, volunteer events, not just the donations, but really having a presence in the community. We feel very strongly about kind of constructing that culture.
Yeah.
Saving dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And I think you guys will find, being in Jacksonville, Florida, that we have such a huge dog community. We have so many rescues that do amazing work here. So I'm excited for you guys to just meet everyone and to start just learning about all the different groups, because we truly have such a good group here in Jax.
Yeah, we do. We met so many dogs here. If they follow us on Instagram, we're at Boobs and Barks. You can see we've been going to tons of markets, beach markets. Like everybody has a dog.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah. And so let's talk about your second commitment. So giving back to breast reconstruction surgery. So kind of tell us how that works and kind of your idea behind that.
Yeah. So like I said, when we started the brand, we wanted it to be fun, playful, vibrant, youthful, sexy, that type of feeling. And so that's why it was Boobs and Barks. Who doesn't like those two things? And when we sat down and started to reflect on it, especially for me personally, I started to think about women's health and how serious of a cause it is and how I related to it personally. I don't want to go too in detail, but I've struggled with hormonal imbalances, and I've thought about the essence of what does femininity mean? The importance of how you feel in your body.
Right.
When you say boobs and it's fun and it's cute, but there's women out here that are, they survived breast cancer, they've had a double mastectomy, but they don't even know what their options are. And they feel like they've lost this sense of self. They have a completely changed identity, and a lot of the women don't even know that they have the option for breast reconstruction surgery, let alone what the different avenues are,
right.
implants versus fat transfer, just basic education, emotional support. And so, yeah, our mission is to bring more boobs into the world, but it comes down to a much deeper level of helping human beings, actually making women feel better in their bodies, feeling confident, going back outside, going for a run on the beach with their dog, loving their body. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
those two things, while they are fun, they're also very serious. And it felt like a very personal matter to me, because when you start to feel that sense of confidence in your body again, it just changes everything.
Yeah.
It changes your willingness to just go out into the world and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know someone, and obviously I won't give any details around this, but she has breast cancer, and her doctor basically was like, don't do reconstruction surgery. It's not a good idea, which was kind of a weird thing to say, because doctors have been doing it for years. It's actually a pretty relatively simple surgery. But I think because he didn't profit off of it, and or maybe believed she couldn't afford it, he just told her it wasn't an option, and it is.
It is an option. So if you have a mastectomy, your health insurance has to cover that. You shouldn't have to, pay for that entirely out of pocket. And there's just such a lack of education around that. I think it's so wonderful that breast cancer gets so much awareness, but what about the women who do recover? I don't want to leave them behind.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was definitely, I would say, one of the biggest surprises that we encountered after starting the brand Boobs and Barks is just how much of a lack of education there are amongst breast cancer survivors about treatment options. And, when we started to realize what that looked like, what the landscape was there, we said, hang on, there's something here.
Yeah.
There's something here that deserves some attention.
That's equally as important as saving dogs' lives. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's great that you guys are spreading that educational piece, because a lot of people just aren't doing it. Either they don't care, or they don't think about it, or they themselves are not educated on it. Because like you said, the people who do make it, it's like, great, you beat cancer, awesome. And it's like, think about what she went through, think about what she lost, whether she had a double mastectomy, whether she lost her hair, but giving her back that confidence, letting her go back out, feel like herself, because I'm sure they don't want to be reminded every day of what they went through,
Absolutely,
Yeah. So I think that's awesome. I love that that's part of your mission.
Thank you so much. Yeah, some people are like, why do these two things go together? I'm like, well, they're both important and they're both fun and sexy. All the sense in the world, but, Boobs.
Yeah. It's that. Yeah, we like to think it's a synergy between two great causes and just fun things.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think even there's so many women that have dogs and their dogs get them through different health ailments, whether it's breast cancer or something else. So I think this resonates with a lot of people, or even, husbands and their wives go through it, or their daughters or their sisters. And I mean, you see a lot of dogs get brought into the picture, so they're not lonely through their treatments. They have a companion.
Absolutely.
So I think they tie together perfect. And that third commitment you guys have is products made in the U.S. And so has that been difficult to maintain that one?
Probably our biggest challenge.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Different industries have different circumstances in terms of made in the USA, but the garment industry is particularly challenging with made in the USA. I mean, after, World War II in the 50s and 60s, a lot of the garment mills here went overseas. And so they're few and far between. They really are for clothing manufacturing. And that's even more so with like straps for collars, harnesses, leashes and stuff. In fact, there are only 2 vendors in the United States that make customizable straps, for dog collars that are made in the USA.
Wow.
And we did hours of research on this, and it was a massive challenge to get it going and to make sure that they're matching and whatnot.
Right.
But hey, we're able to do it.
It's been a really huge challenge. And it took us well over a year to get the education and the resources and build up the inventory to actually be able to launch. And for a while, we actually kept our business a secret because we didn't want anybody worrying that we weren't going to make it or doubting us, being concerned. But we had to push through so many obstacles, like even people trying to scam us saying, we can get you started for $60,000.
Yes.
It's like, well, we're a startup. We can do this. We had the idea to commit to making in the USA because we want to bolster the economy here. We want to eventually be able to create tons of American jobs. We're patriots through and through. And we had mentors that even told us, like, don't do this, at least go to Mexico. We're like, no, we're going to do this. And it took us a long time to find suppliers. I mean, I myself had to hand draw patterns. We contracted individual seamstresses just to get the products going because a lot of the manufacturers here, they will have something called MOQ, which is a minimum order quantity.
Yeah.
So, it might be 1,000 units. And as a startup, you have to say, I don't even know if this is going to be successful on the market yet. I can order 1,000 units each. So it was a really, really, really big ordeal to do Made in the USA. But we believe that in the long run, it's going to be worth it. And the people that are wearing our clothes and putting the gear on their dogs are going to be able to feel better about where their items were sourced from and know it was made ethically. It wasn't shipped overseas. There was no slave labor involved, anything like that. We just feel very passionately about keeping it here and doing it the right way.
Yeah, and it's also allowed us to coin a new term. You've heard of bootstrapping. We bootstrap.
Oh, yeah, we bootstrap all the time.
You have to use that hashtag on things, bootstrap.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's going to truly know how much work went into creating this brand and how much love has gone into it.
Right.
So it really is a baby. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I know you guys have like a success story, like kind of something exciting. So like share that story with us.
Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of pop-up markets in the Jacksonville area, and we did one near St. Augustine, and we had an individual get one of our athletic skirts and a matching bandana, and she went on to win a dog race. It was her and herself I think it was a 5K. It's
like the first dog to finish in a 5K.
Yeah.
Wearing Boobs and Barks. Super cool. And she actually came back to a later market with her mom. Her mom bought from us. So really spreading the message.
And icing on the cake, it was on July 4th.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yep. So that was really cool. Yeah. And we, honestly, by far our favorite part has been getting to know people and getting to see people's dogs. And, people are just so elated to come up and say, hey, here's my German Shepherd, here's my Aussie, cattle dog, whatever it is. And, to be able to actually facilitate someone showcasing the love for their pet while out in the world, and whether it's a race or it's hanging out with friends or whatever it is, it's really cool to know that our stuff is kind of getting entrenched out in the community.
And not only that, but Boobs and Barks itself, the name is such a conversation starter.
Yeah, it is.
As owners, we wear the gear that says Boobs and Barks on it, and people stop us. I don't have mine on, but I have the skirt. And they'll say, like, what is that? Or, they'll mention it. One time you were at Chipotle and the woman was like just giggling because she thought it was so funny. Like, we just had so many people stop us and say, hey, what is that? And the idea of being able to put that out into the world, that means that those conversations are starting over and over and over again, which means more people are networking, the community's forming there. Similar interests are being shared. And that was in our original mission statement, build the community. And so the name is really helping us do that.
Yeah. So my husband spotted you guys at 904 Pop-Up, and I think the name drew him over because he did a double take and then came to chat with you, and he was like, "Oh, I talked to Boobs and Barks," and I'm like, "I don't think that's real. I don't think that's a thing." And he's like, "No, it's a company." So then I started to look you guys up, and I'm like, "Oh, wait, this is really cool." And started to dig into it. So yeah, the name is definitely a big conversation piece.
Absolutely, yeah.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Are you guys going to be at any more markets or pop-up events in Jacksonville anytime soon?
Yes,
we are. We're doing one in Daytona Beach next week and another one in Jacksonville the same weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
And then
be
I think it's 29th and 30th or
something like that. Yeah, just for when the listeners get it. Yeah, of July.
Yes.
We've also been doing the Volano Beach Markets, which are the third Saturday of every month. And yeah,
we've done a few other ones. 904 Pop-Up is yeah, we're going to continue to do them.
We'll be at Atlantic Beach Market every once in a while too.
Okay. And then if people aren't local or can't come out, what is your website, social media, plug all of that?
So we're boobsandbarks.com. That's A-N-D. And at Boobs and Barks on Instagram. We're also on TikTok and Pinterest. We just haven't gotten those rolling yet because we're pretty new. But yeah, you can find us at boobsandbarks.com. That'd be the best place. And if there's any questions, they can also email us, info@boobsandbarks.com.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
There probably won't be too many imposters. You know to find us pretty easy. Not a lot of Boobs and Barks out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for the work you're doing, and appreciate you being on the podcast.
Thanks, Britt.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for tuning in to the Canine Culture Podcast. Please make sure you subscribe to the Canine Culture Podcast on your favorite podcast platform, and make sure you're following us on social media. If you have any recommendations, any topics that you'd like to hear, If you know of any guests that would be good for the show, or if you yourself want to be a guest, please reach out to us. Send us an email at canineculturepodcast@gmail.com or send us a direct message on social media. Thank you for listening, and please share this with any of your dog-loving friends.